Recording live from the Northeast Georgia Business RadioX studio. This is Northeast Georgia Business Radio. Welcome back, folks. Welcome back to another, actually a special, very important edition of Northeast Georgia Business Radio. Yeah, I'm your host, Tom Sheldon. And yeah, we're coming to you live from the beautiful Empower College and Career Center of Jackson County. And I mentioned this was special, but let me tell you, folks, sit down for this one. This is our 100th episode. This is a bit of a milestone. And I promised everyone involved here I wasn't going to cry, so I'll try hard not to. But it's also very important. With me today, for the first time, I have a co-host with me. And you all know him, you all love him. I have with me Mr. John Uesseler, CEO of this Empower Center. John, welcome back to the studio.
Thank you so much, Tom. I really appreciate it.
If I turn your mic on,
that would be a little bit better.
I'm not used to having a co-host. This is so cool.
Well, this is the first time I've ever co-hosted.
Really?
So, I mean, we're making history all around the place.
It's not the first time I blew it and didn't turn a mic on.
Well, we really appreciate the opportunity to be here and to be a co-host with you, Tom. I mean, this is a special place to be and a special celebration for the 100th episode, and I'm honored to be able to be a co-host with you.
100 episodes, my friend. I know I keep score of everything. That's what I do. A year ago yesterday is the first time you showed me this beautiful studio. Did you know that?
Long.
It was a year ago yesterday.
Wow. And
you said, Tom, this is you. And after you picked me up and, put cold water in my forehead a little bit to get me to come to, I thanked you profusely. A year later, she's still gorgeous.
Looks beautiful. You've done a wonderful job with the space, and it's being used magnificently.
We're getting there. We're trying to get the word out for the Empower Center. All the magnificent things you folks do here, yourself, your team, the board of directors. I've said it a million times. I'll say it a million more. Thank you so much for allowing Northeast Georgia to be here.
Well, I get to live my dream every day.
I do too.
Helping get the word out, not just about what Empower is doing, but what all the great businesses across Jackson County and the surrounding communities and the things that they're doing. That's what this is all about.
Imagine what we can do when we work together.
Absolutely.
Isn't it cool?
It is.
Awesome. John, this day is even more special than we've already built up. We have with us 2 students from this Empower College and Career Center.
Yes, sir.
That is so awesome. And I believe I'm going to have you do the honors and introduce these fine, we're calling them young adults, because they are.
They are.
John, who do we have with us?
Thank you for the opportunity to bring our students with us today, because this is really what Empower is all about. I can talk all day about it. Folks can come see what we're doing, but to hear the impact that Empower is having on students' lives is just amazing. I have Mr. Schlecht, sorry about that, Syod, with us, and Miss Amberlie Smith. 2 of our rock star students that I'm extremely proud of and happy to have with us today.
Have you coached them, John? You haven't coached them.
No. Actually, they're probably a little frustrated with me because I said, look, this just needs to be a conversation. I don't want it to be too practiced.
That's all this is. We're just hanging out.
Absolutely.
We need to let them talk, though.
We do. Absolutely.
Well, young adults, students, Syod and Amberlie, welcome. Welcome to the Northeast Studio. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here, and congratulations for your 100th episode.
I appreciate that. Amberlie, you're being quiet over there. You can't be quiet.
First of all, I think what we want to do is we want to start off just by you all telling us who you are. They know your names now. Talk to us about what you've done here at Empower, what you're studying here at Empower, and maybe even what your future goals are since you've started coming and experiencing what we do here at Empower. Amberlie, you want to go first?
With Empower, I am currently in the agricultural pathway. What I do through there is agricultural mechanics and metal fabrication. Through that pathway, I was blessed enough to find a true passion of mine, which is working on engines and really working with my hands and getting my hands dirty. I was able to dual enroll with Linear Tech this year. I start their automotive collisions repairs class. That I am hoping to one day open my own shop. I don't think that I would have found that passion without the opportunities that I've been afforded through Empower.
That's absolutely amazing, just amazing. And you're a senior this year, right? So you're getting ready to graduate.
Yes, sir.
Wow. I'm going to come back to something you said in just a few minutes. Syod, tell us a little bit about you.
Okay, thank you. So here at Empower, I guess the first thing to say is, what don't I do, right?
Absolutely.
So one of the ways I define myself is my choice to enter into a career as a doctor. I want to be in the medical field. And the coolest thing that's happened here is that I've been taking like these tangible steps towards that basically every day in our healthcare lab. So right now I've completed, or I'm working on completing, about 6 of the healthcare pathways we offer. So I'm working on getting certified as a medical assistant, as an EMT, and I'm already certified as a phlebotomist. And then a really special certification to me is my biotechnician assistant certification. So that's actually at the collegiate level. And so I've really had these experiences in the lab and in healthcare that I think are really fortunate to have been afforded to me. One of the interesting facts is that Empower really helped me discover that I wanted to go into medicine, because when I first stepped foot on campus in 10th grade, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do, but when we went on a tour and I walked into the healthcare lab for the first time, I knew that that is where I wanted to be, and that's what I wanted to do. So I've helped to discover my career and what I want to do here at Empower.
You said you wanted to be a doctor, so any kind of specialty area that you're thinking about?
Yeah, so I want to be a special type of doctor known as a physician scientist. So not only treating patients, but also researching. My specific specialty would be internal medicine, but also I'm really interested in clinical translational medicine. So looking at discoveries, looking at medicines, and helping to research them and improve patients' lives.
Wow, that's amazing. Amazing. Tom, you got any questions you want to ask before?
No, I tell you, all your Empower students just blow me away.
Mm-hmm.
These two and the many before and after. To have an opportunity is great. You can talk about it all day long. You got this opportunity, you got that opportunity. But the two of you, and as I said, many before and many after, you're taking advantage of it. Double thumbs up for that. Amberlie, I got to ask, you're interested in, forgive me, I was running around taking pictures while you were talking. I heard half what you said. Seriously, engines, motors, mechanical work, is that something that runs in your family?
Not at all.
You've taken the interest.
I have.
That's awesome.
I have. My mom owns a gym.
Okay.
And my dad works for a pharmaceutical company.
Well, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
So you found your path like Syod did, because let me guess, when you were in the 10th grade, you probably didn't really, what am I doing?
Not at all.
You found a passion. You both did. That's awesome. And John, I have to say, that's probably your business.
It is.
That's what you do.
Mm-hmm.
You bring these brilliant young minds in, and you give them that pathway.
Right. I hate to be cliche-ish, but...
Be cliche. We're in a podcast.
The world, the opportunities are really an open an open canvas for them, whatever they choose to do. And you said it well. We got great students. All of our students are absolutely great. But grasping onto the opportunities and taking ownership of it is really, really just phenomenal. And I want to ask you a question, Amberlie, because you're going into a very non-traditional area for females. Now, there's becoming more and more. Based off of your experience and what you've learned, what message can you give to young ladies about finding their passion and grabbing onto that and moving forward with it?
That's a great question. Something that my mom told me has always stuck with me, because I used to run into problems like that of people disagreeing with my choice of path. But no matter what you do in life, somebody is always going to have something to say about it. And it's really your choice whether or not you listen to them and let them determine what you're going to do.
Wow. You're a high school student.
John, you sure they're teenagers?
I don't know that they are. There's so much wisdom in what you just said. That's amazing.
And you didn't coach them?
Nope.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Nope. So, Syod, healthcare research. Talk a little bit about the research that you're working on personally right now that has really kind of gone above and beyond what a lot of students do.
One thing that my love for blossomed here at Empower was academia and researching and discovering new things, because I'm just one of those people that really loves to know stuff, right? I really loved my chemistry class that I took at my high school. And I was like, okay, how can I make this applicable to medicine? And so I started researching. I started looking into different types of medicines, specifically a category called NSAIDs. You've probably heard of them. Ibuprofen, naproxen are some of them. And then a second subset of polymers. So I wanted to combine the two, because I know that a lot of over-the-counter medicines still have side effects that we want to avoid. And so in my research here, I was able to combine a polymer called polyethylene glycol and do some advanced chemistry techniques to attach that to a naproxen molecule to make that medicine more soluble, so less likely to cause adverse side effects. it's just really amazing how I was able to talk to the administration here and ask, am I able to do research? Am I able to use our labs? Am I able to be like a faculty researcher? Because I want to start changing medicine today. I was able to harness my medical education here and my science education and unite those two to really start working and make a difference. And so I think that culminated in this achievement where I've published 2 of these discoveries in a genuine medical journal. So at this point, I'm a published researcher.
So hold on a second.
Congratulations.
You have been published 2 different times in actual medical journals as a high school student.
That's right. The work that we do in our labs, that's groundbreaking work. These are discoveries that are truly beneficial to science and that our lab specifically works on. And so I've been able to take those discoveries and put them in research papers that we've been able to get published in medical journals for other scientists and other people in the medical field to see.
Syod, that's amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, so if you walk down the hall...
You are a teenager, right?
I am a teenager.
Okay, I'm just curious.
So in the halls at Empower, you can actually see I have posters of the work that we do. So you can.
And Tom, one of these days we're going to be working for both of these folks.
Yeah, we will.
Absolutely.
We
and
will.
I'll be proud to, too.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
amazing.
Oh, we'll take credit. John and I, Mr. Uesseler and I are very good at taking credit. But he actually deserves it. Me, I just take the credit.
So if you all would, the audience has heard me talk about Empower. And again, this is coming from an adult perspective. What I'd like for y'all to do for just a minute, and you can, whoever wants to go first is okay. From a student's perspective, what makes Empower special? Is there anything about it that's really helping you achieve your future goals?
What I think Empower does is it really embodies the phrase of learning by doing. So one of the things I sometimes do here is I call my fellow students my colleagues, because that's really what it's like. We have this collegiate environment, so it's kind of like this college experience, but then we're also learning these hands-on skills and these things that can help us in our careers. And so I start to see my fellow classmates as not just students, but people who are going to work in the healthcare industry with me. So when we're in the healthcare lab, we're not just looking at a slideshow or a PowerPoint, but we're actually doing things that would be done in industry. So we're taking vital signs, we're examining patients, we're doing these things that you have to typically be in the hospital to do, but we're already doing it now. So we have this groundbreaking education where we're actually learning these skills right now. And so I just think that that environment is really conducive to a future career.
Man, that was a good answer. I feel like Empower does a really amazing job of giving students the respect that they expect in return. I feel like we're really treated as young adults and not just as kids or children. We're given a lot of freedom that most schools don't have, and we receive a lot of support that a lot of students aren't fortunate enough to receive from not only the teachers, but the administration as well. I think it's really nice that y'all put your hearts into the school and you're not just trying to make money off of it.
What's about doing what you love? I do what I love every day. And getting to work with young people like you just makes it amazing. Really does make it amazing.
I have to talk about the respect issue. You give what you get. If you come in here and you're disrespectful to Mr. Uesseler or this campus, that's what you're going to end up with. So you pay it forward, and you'll find that more and more in life. Personally, and I know I'm an old man, I really, at the end of the day, I really don't mind. I don't want to say I don't care. I don't mind if someone likes me or even hates me, but I want them to respect me. To me, that's a huge quality in a human being. Mr. Uesseler is one of the most respectable people on this campus, probably the most respectable person by far. And he respects you, and you show him the respect back. It's a perfect marriage. Take that with you as you go.
We've talked about some of the classes and stuff that you've done. Y'all are very engaged outside of the classroom too, though. So would y'all talk about some of those things that you're doing beyond the traditional, 75-minute period that we have here at Empower when you're just in these classes? Talk about how you're engaged in other opportunities. And Amberlie, we'll put you on the spot first.
I am an Empower ambassador. With that, I get the opportunity to meet some of our 8th graders that are coming up and tour them around the high school and give them a really good first impression, or try my best to give them a good first impression of high school. I'm also an officer on our FFA team. I'm a secretary, and through that, I get to meet a lot of really cool people and go a lot of cool places. With both of those, the being an ambassador and the FFA, I get a lot of public speaking opportunities, which I am so appreciative of because I feel like it's really helped me get to where I am today. If you would have asked me sophomore year to do this podcast, I would have told you absolutely not. So
So talk a little bit more about that public speaking. You competed last year and did pretty well, and you're getting ready to gear up again for competition this year. Is that correct?
I did. I did. Yes, I made it to state with my speech last year. We'll hopefully be making it past state with my speech this year.
Excellent.
So
That's great.
I'm excited.
Sam, what about you? What are you involved in?
I personally don't think that there's been a day where I've left this campus right when the bell rings because I always have to be doing something. So most often I'm working in my lab and I'm working on making those discoveries, but I'm also involved in many CTSOs. So obviously the first one that comes to mind is HOSA. So that's a club for healthcare students. I'm just really involved with that. 1 year I placed in state for a competition called Pathophysiology. So that was just an evaluation of our medical knowledge. But then I'm also involved in some other disciplines, such as our first robotics team. So I'm actually this year our club president. So I work in helping our team build our robots and program them. So I'm getting that interdisciplinary experience. There are some other clubs on campus that I've participated in, such as our Science Leaders Club, where we hope to share science knowledge with younger kids, such as elementary schoolers. Similar to Amberlie, I'm on our student ambassador team. So I really love engaging with the community and engaging with the students that come here because it does feel like we're always doing something. So there's always the chance to stick around and find someone to talk to. Of course, something that I think is really interesting is, like Amberlie mentioned, the public speaking component. There would be no way I would do a radio show as a sophomore, but now I love every chance I get to talk about Empower. So I just think it's really been a transformative experience.
You're not just involved during the school year, right? You all do stuff during the summertime too, right?
Yes, sir.
Talk about some of that.
We do conferences over the summer and community service. We're really trying not to only be invested in our community during the school year, but we want to year round to really show that impact and that we really care. And it's not just for community service hours on a sheet. You know, we really like engaging.
One of my favorite experiences, or one I've done recently, was this summer I got to participate in the intensive study at the Governor's Honors Program. So that lasted a large duration of the summer. And I just think that that was being able to be up there with some of the top students in the state. I went there for science. And one of the things that was really interesting is that when I was interviewing to go there, I mentioned that I was in a biotechnology program that Empower offers. The interviewers were blown away by that because how could a high schooler be taking that? I think that after having that experience, I was one or maybe the only student there who had had this rigorous education in the lab in biotechnology. And I think that being able to have this honors experience and study at that high level was really great for me and really helps me to identify, what I want to do in life.
John, I listened to these two young adults, these two students, and I think Empower and everyone involved is just simply winning. That's what I think. I've never had a chance to sit down with any of your students. My friend, you talk very well of all of them, and I'm actually believing you, man.
I'm just going to say for the
Simple
record,
winning. I mean, yeah.
The knowledge, the way that they're answering some of these questions and the way that they're.
I'm feeling a bit insecure, John.
You and me both. I'm like, it's amazing the level of maturity that these two young people in particular, but all of our students are showing towards being invested in their own future.
When I was 18, I could tell you who won the NASCAR race last weekend and what car on the street had the most horsepower.
Right.
And I was proud of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, wow.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But now I got Amberlie that can work on my Mustangs for me.
That's
There
going to
you
be pretty
go.
awesome.
So that's not a bad thing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a tough question. We've worked hard to get Empower where it's at. I believe in continuous improvement. As soon as I get to the point where I think that we can't do any better, I think it's time for them to fire me and get somebody else to come in and take Empower to the next level. And we're not there yet, so I don't want to get fired right now. But what I would love to hear from you two is, from a student's perspective, what do you think Empower could improve on to better serve you and your fellow students?
That one's all you, Syod.
Well,
I love the whole thing.
I do like to think that it is hard to improve on something that's already great, but I do know that there are a few things. Something that immediately comes to mind is, well, the reason I'm sitting here is because I found my passion here, and I'm able to do this because I know what I want to do, helping more students not only come here, but see the value of what they're learning and why they're learning it. Because we have a lot of students, I'm really involved in healthcare, and I think we can all see why we're studying healthcare. But I just want to make sure that every student, sees the value in the classes that they choose and what they're working towards. I think that would be something to continue striving for.
Mm-hmm. Do you have anything for us, Amberlie?
Oh, man.
You're not thinking about becoming a politician one day, are you? It could be a future for you. Don't rock the boat if you don't have to.
It's okay. I was just curious. You don't have to.
I really feel like y'all are doing a great job. I'm sure that there are things, but they're just not coming to mind right
Gotcha.
now.
Absolutely.
Something I can say is I really appreciate the enrolled, enlisted, or employed kind of motto that you guys have here, that everybody celebrated. You know, you celebrate athletes too, but also those students who are going a different way with their futures.
Absolutely.
Okay, I've got a question, kind of the reverse of what you just talked about. Did you find something that you didn't like doing? Maybe you thought you did. Oh, I want to do this. And then when you got knee deep into it, you're like, yeah, I don't want to do that. Because that is important in life. Mm-hmm. Find out what you don't want to do before you spend a lot of time doing it. Did you all encounter anything like that?
It had to be like 7th grade all the way through freshman year.
Way back when?
Way back when.
Way back when.
You know?
Sorry.
I was determined that I was going into the military. I was going to join the Marine Corps, and that was that. Nobody could tell me any different.
Right.
And then I talked to recruiters, and I took the classes. The classes are amazing.
Oh, no doubt.
They are.
No
I
doubt.
love the instructors.
But maybe not just for you, though.
Was
right?
not for me.
Yeah.
I had
that
the
is so
opportunity.
important.
It is. And it's okay to, a program can be good and it still not be for everybody.
Exactly. Really, it's not going to be. But thank goodness you didn't stay in it till you were 30 years old and say, oh, I don't want to do this.
Right.
Because trust me, you will be 30 before you know it. It doesn't get easier, I promise.
It's comforting.
There is kind of one thing. When Mr. Uesseler asked me what kind of medical specialty I wanted to go into earlier, I said internal medicine. Mm-hmm. But throughout high school, I've been having this process where I'm figuring out which type of specialty to go into. And I think that having access to all these healthcare pathways has really helped me narrow it down. My biggest experience from that is just about a month ago, I was riding on the back of an ambulance and I was working on a patient, and we had lights and sirens going to the hospital. When we get back to the station, I step off that ambulance. I'm like, whew. Emergency medicine is not something I can do. This is not it. I am obviously still very passionate about medicine, but it's nice to know that in a field with such diversity, I'm already seeing what I want to do and narrowing that down.
That's perfect. Mm-hmm. And John, that's exactly what you set up. Mm-hmm. Finding out what you don't want to do can be just as important. Mm. Yeah, man. We've been going for almost 30 minutes. Goes quick, doesn't it?
It does.
John, you want to take this thing home, bring it home?
I'm going to go back to, and we've said this over and over, Tom, you've said it, Empower is about the community. It's about our students. It's about really, truly helping our young people find their passions and giving them the opportunity to explore and grow and become better. And that's what we really hope. We hope that when somebody comes to Empower and then leaves, that they're better when they leave than they were when they came in. And I'm just so blessed to be able to work with young people like Syod and Amberlie. They are rock stars, but I probably could have gone and gotten a million other students to be able to come in that could do a great, great job. But I'm just especially so proud of these two. They're just doing amazing, amazing things. And I hope young people are listening to you because you are an example. Doors are going to open and close based off of decisions that are made, whether they're good decisions or whether they're bad decisions. But the important thing that you all grasp in the message that I've heard you say is you personally are responsible for those decisions. That's what we hope our young people learn when they're here at Empower, that the more doors are open, it's because they've done what they needed to along the way. Amberlie and Syod are amazing, amazing young people, and I'm honored to know that have been a part of their growth.
You're not taking all the credit.
No.
Just a little bit.
No, I'm not.
I think you're entitled to a little bit of it.
The credit is with our teachers.
You've got an amazing team here at Empower.
The credit is with our admin team. The credit is with our community to have the vision, and we can't do it without them. With our business supporters, our sponsors, our community members.
Well, they have an amazing leader, though.
Yeah.
He got quiet on that.
And Dr. Blackburn, yeah.
Well, okay. Well, now
Yeah.
she is amazing,
yeah,
too.
she's amazing.
And big shout out to Dr. Brown.
And Dr. Brown, absolutely.
Thank you, Dr. Brown, for allowing
Yes.
me to be in one of his buildings.
Absolutely. And that's what it takes. It takes a community. And Jackson County has done that. Jackson County has built an educational opportunity that a community is invested in and is growing and making really successful.
The shining star. The shining star I always talk about.
Yep.
Well, Mr. Uesseler, thank you for coming in.
Well,
we need to
appreciate
do
it.
this more often, man.
We do.
I like this whole co-hosting thing.
That would be great.
I'm loving this.
Yeah.
Thanks
for throwing me into it at the last minute that I wasn't
That's-
prepared for.
Well,
so.
that was the plan. That was the plan. Syod, Amberlie, first and foremost, congratulations. Don't let up. Hammer down. one of the biggest things is just be you. Don't let someone talk you into doing this because they think it's better. Be you. Be true to yourself. Awesome job. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
Much appreciated.
Thank you so much. It's great being here.
They're going to play. This is what in the business they call vamping, because eventually they're going to play my music, and that means I have to wrap up. So I just go on and on and on. Oh, see, there it is. Those producer people, you got to watch them real carefully. Folks, these kids at Empower, the Empower College and Career Center, are simply amazing. Check out the Empower Center, jacksonschoolsga.org. I'm Tom Sheldon. We'll talk to you soon.